everyone, and welcome back to another wonderful day of LCS Challengers League. Hopefully take some of those Monday blues away with some immaculate vibes and some good league gameplay. I'm Sierra Dawn, joined with Kangas and Beatdown Boulevard. First off, Kangas, this is the first time on one of these types of broadcasts I get to work with you.
This is our first time ever working together. Yeah, they keep us separate because they know that we would flame each other too much. So this is about to be an experience. And let's start with some flame. You already messed up the intro, Sierra Dawn. It is League of Legends Championship Series North American Challengers League, okay? We've changed the title. It's quite a mouthful, but trust me, it's worth it.
So many regrets already, and we're just into the broadcast. Beatdown, you're going to have to save me here, bud.
I don't know. Kangas, you're bald.
How's that beard coming along, Beatdown? It's been, what, 5 months growing it out? You're really trying hard, I can
shaved it
tell.
yesterday. What are you talking
It'll
about?
fill out, don't worry.
I mean,
Also,
I can't
gotta
actually
say,
grow a beard.
I can't believe that they put the Minnesotan between two Canadians. Did they realize how polite this broadcast is about to be? Well, you know what?
I mean,
That's
it's
funny I
not
say
going
that.
to
We
be
just
your
roasted each other.
capping. Come on.
I've heard a can't grow a beard joke, a bald joke, whatever
You
the
messed up the intro
was.
joke.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I feel like this is like, you know, there's like the Canadians are polite, but there's also like the Canadian hockey, like loves off, throw down. I feel like that might be
Oh, yeah.
more towards that vibe. Well, we
No, what is this lower third? What is this lower third? What are we doing here? Can we please roast Beatdown with something?
Sure.
Be like, hey, those the most relevant anime behind you is 10 years old. That was a bad bird, but something like that, please.
I mean, One Piece is still going. What else
smiley
you got?
face.
All right, well, let's take a minute or two and think of a couple of burns for that, and we're going to throw it over to On the Range while we think of that.
Welcome to another year of On the Range. Now, we've been busy this offseason acquiring some new territory. We got some new, some old, some rough and rowdy. Let's go and check them out, shall we? Now, one of the new bloods we got is Masu. He's in a bit of a migratory pattern while he flies to LA, but that ain't gonna stop him. No way.
The wild turtle getting lower and lower. Is it enough? No.
And that was on 120 ping. Now, another youngin' we have on the range is APA. And in instances like these, it's important to plan ahead. Luckily for Appa, he always does. Yep.
Concept following up, APA
big.
buying the space. Concept taking a lot of damage right now. Throws out the all-in. First to fall.
Now that we've gotten some of our youngins nice and rassled, let's go see how our more mature members are doing. Caution now, we're going to be walking into the top lane kingdom.
Now next up we got good old Bradley. He's the last remaining member of his prize pack. But don't let his early antics fool you now, or he'll serve you up some of that humble pie.
Young, even with Principal on top of him, I think Bradley's got it. That's another one. He's got Principal too. Pentakill to Bradley.
Now as we come around the bend here, make sure you got your flex protection on, or Hanser will get you.
Whoa, watch out now. Whoa, Nelly. Is that a real weapon? Arms are flying everywhere.
Now this next part of the range is a little bit scarier. We're gonna go check in on our crocodilian friend from down under Surdy. He likes to hang out with the creepy crawlies of the world, but you know, if he gets you in his sights, boy, he'll get you. Woo! It looks like I got my work cut out for me wrestling all these new critters this year. But as always, thanks for tuning in to an episode of On the Range, and we'll see you next time.
Did we think of anything creative, burn-wise?
Oh, wow. I didn't think you were going to ask us right out the gate.
I totally
Damn.
forgot.
I
immediately went mind blank. I just was watching the cows graze, thinking that I want that to linger for like 5 more seconds on stream from now on.
I mean, you know, we aren't the only ones that have to get creative.
Wait. I got one. I got a roast. Are you
All right,
ready?
here we go.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Beatdown.
Yes.
Beatdown. You're trash. Yeah.
Oh,
I hope that worked. I did actually look at my screen. Did it work?
It worked.
Yes.
I'm cutting you off there. We're going to move along. We're going to touch in with our players and the tweets that they like to be making during the week. A nice little update on how things are going. We're going to start off with Soul here, Beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, pretty happy about how things have going on the weekend. Of course, Evil Geniuses, one of the teams playing 3 games this week. We will be covering them later on. And I like that picture. I think it's from like a ranked announcement cinematic type deal. Sejuani, but it's all looking good.
Pick
we
me,
played
pick me. I know
Sejuani
exactly where this is from.
over the weekend, right?
This is from the 2022 ranked cinematic trailer. She throws this at a volley bear, or like volley bear's armies.
Yeah.
Good times. Back when we had those.
Shout out Soul.
I'm keeping in my mind. All right, gonna take screenshots from cinematics, make you guys name those down the line. But
ooh, that's good.
Oh, I would be really good at those, I think.
I don't think I would be.
I'll have to keep that in mind. And then going on to their next week, because there's a couple, our players, they'd like to update as well.
Oh, yeah.
First 2-0.
Let's go, Array.
More to come. Some good vibes over here, some confidence. I like it.
I believe, because the 1-2 punch of Array Young combo has been popping off, and I actually have, the first weekend, I think a lot of the concern for the team was on the top half of the map, falling too far behind for Array and Young to really come online. But what we've seen this weekend is that if Concept's able to play a safe weak side and not get, put too far down and then another top laner take over the game, Array can carry. So I love this from Array. This is confidence.
Let's go. And now on to our next tweet. We'll see what this one has in store for us, because frankly, I forgot with all the trash talking we are doing. And I love this. A little bit of trash, a little bit of teamwork, getting carried to a whole new level.
I honestly, Swiper could just carry all of them. So that's what I want to see next time. Right now it's a 5 carry in 1. I want to see Swiper carry all 5 members for the next
Is he really that strong?
He's pretty buff. Have you seen this man deadlift?
I haven't. What's he pulling?
He deadlifts more than I do, so that's an indication.
Like it's hard.
So
Sorry,
like what, 150 pounds or what are we talking
Whoa,
here?
don't make me pull out the trash can, Cam.
Hey, that only works once, man.
I'm gonna run that one into the ground.
All right, our next and final tweet here. This one, there's great vibes to start off. Bummer to lose game 1. Seeing progress slowly, surely made. That makes me hopeful. I'm happy my guys are getting better. It's not how you start, but how you finish. That's some good Monday motivation for us all.
Yeah, hopefully you can tighten it up a little bit,
Yeah?
Get it? Because
I get it. Just, that's what you were rolling with?
Yep.
Okay. Well, really quick, I just want to say that's good, because obviously we know CLG Faith struggling a little bit, but I do agree. It's about improvement. It's about how they finish. So I'm glad the vibes, at least outside looking in, seem pretty good from their coach.
Yeah, well, for the next little segment that we have, we got to move this along, guys.
I got you.
Love you, bud, but we got to move this along. We are bringing something back. It is, let me guess here, the Samsung SSD Fast 5.
It's the Samsung SSD Fast 5?
Yes, Kang, it's the Samsung SSD Fast 5.
Wow.
All right, during the weeks, during the days, we're going to be tracking our players in each role, who's going to get the objectives the fastest here. I feel like there needs to be a prize on the line here for whoever, can consistently be at the top of the leaderboards, because some of the times, something to brag about.
Impressive. And I think if you aren't on this board as a player, I think you should strongly consider getting a Samsung SSD, because surely that's the problem.
Ooh. Good point. If you're not on the Samsung SSD Fast 5 graph, then your coaches are going to have some words with you. My favorite Samsung SSD Fast 5 graph here is the competition right now between Mir and Shaded. 2 of the hypest junglers that we have in the league.
Yeah.
2 seconds away from each other. Who's going to win it? Who's going to be faster? Right now it's Mir, but I think Shaded can take it later.
That'll be fun. Some of these are really fun to track. And that just shows the players. I just want to see who's on the bottom of the list. It's not just anyone who's not on that list, but the bottom needs to get that SSD.
Just saying.
The winner is the one at the bottom. Okay, I was going to say, I think we need a different sponsor for the bottom.
I'm just saying that person, it's like a consolation prize, like,
Fair
hey,
enough.
better luck next split. We still have a lot of split to be played out, though. It's time to head over to our standings, check out how the teams are doing. And I love seeing we touched on this a little bit yesterday, but these top 3 spots, this 6 and 2, I'm checking out Cincinnati Fear on there.
Yeah, that's been an exciting thing, like watching, because of course you go into this tournament right off the bat, eye test, you think to yourselves, okay, provisional teams obviously not going to do as well as the challenger teams, right? wrong, because Cincinnati Fear clearly have something to be saying about that, tied with Dignitas and Team Liquid ahead of Cloud9, 3 teams, and you even include FlyQuest Challengers in that, where we are looking at these teams to be the ones who take it all in the end. So far, a really strong start from Cincinnati Fear, and it's exciting to see whether or not they're going to be able to keep this up, because, I mean, at this rate, they seem like relegation is probably not a concern for them.
Yeah, only the bottom 4 out of the 6 provisional teams. Fear off to a great start. Also, Cloud9 FlyQuest, shout out to them. They will have a match to end the day over on the Challengers League stream. So we're on path to LCS now, but if you want to check out the 2 teams that only have 1 loss apiece, if they go 1-1, they will we'll have a 5-way tie. Well, actually no, because Dignitas, Fear, TLC I think are also playing games at some point throughout the day. But you know what? It'll be even closer. But if one of those gets a 2-1, then they will jump into first place, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and that'll be a really hype match, but reminder, that's at the end of the day over on the other stream, so you gotta stick with us now as we go through our teams, especially since I always think with these provisional teams, those are the interesting ones to watch because there's a little bit more on the line during the season and stuff. And to start things off, Wildcard, who has been making a name for themselves. They've been doing quite well, going up against Team Liquid first. Then we'll be catching up with FlyFam up against Evil Geniuses Challengers. Still have their subs, but they're still looking good. And end it off, Dignitas Challengers up against CLG Faith. I know, Kangas, you're a little bit biased on that one, but
you know, okay, I will say I am biased towards CLG. They are my favorite org, but not on broadcasts. Okay, not during the games, unless they win.
Okay, so afterwards, but that's if they win. We have to get to that point first. That's all for later, though. We need to talk about Wildcard going up against Team Liquid first. First off, Wildcard. This roster, still pieces that were together from a previous time, and with new additions, they've been doing really well together, Beatdown.
Right, and I think they had a really strong week 1 start. They were 4-0 until they ended up facing TSM yesterday, I believe it was. And what ended up happening was that TSM 2-0'd them. TSM, struggling in the beginning, seemed to have found their stride a little bit, it looks like. But I think this is still one of the provisional rosters, especially to be looking at, because, Kangas, you highlighted it. Top 2 provisional teams are the ones who don't have to worry about relegation. When we were looking at the standings, you might have noticed Wildcard was also on that left side of the graphic. So it is Wildcard and Cincinnati Fear so far leading the charge here at NACL with being the top 2 provisional teams.
Yeah, I think that Wildcard, the coolest thing about their story is how little I think a lot of us gave them credit going into the year. We'll take a look at some of their gameplay, specifically around Moose Hater. He is a player that has really stepped up. And like, I didn't have a lot of expectation, or I didn't really know what to expect from this team. Let's phrase it that way, because a lot of these players are newer to this level of competition. And personally, I don't watch every single game at the qualifier level. I know. It's heresy to admit that on broadcast, but the coolest thing of watching this is that I get to react and learn about these players with the audience end, and Moose Hater is definitely impressing us. I think that Keel, in his comeback to semi-pro level, he had stints on CLG Academy before. I got to interview him as well, and he's saying, like, look, it's motivating when you get dropped down and then have to work your way back up, and you have to learn the game in different ways, and it just pushes you as a player. So I think that there's just a lot to be excited about with this team, because we have the narratives of the young players coming in that don't have a lot of experience at this level. We have the comeback stories of the Keels and Soligos. We got all of Duo King's Twitch subscribers in chat probably right now spamming cows. Like, this is just kind of a fun team to watch.
It definitely is, and I mean, it's definitely a team that thinks that they can do well, and they have shown that they are capable of really strong things, and we'll have to see how that fares up against Team Liquid first. And this is going to be, I mean, we talked about it before, when it's the 2 provisional teams facing off against each other, there is extra stakes to it.
Of course, and it's the fact that, we're in a single round robin tournament here as this format, so this matchup will not happen again. All these wins that you can get, especially against people who you're fighting for to stay in the NACL, is so very important. And I mean, looking at Team Liquid Honda first, is Team Liquid's first attempt at an affiliate roster here. The likes of the 100 Next of the past, the Evil Genius Prodigies, and things like that. And this being an org who we've seen these last couple of years manage to find some pretty stellar talent. I mean, look at Bradley last year and how well he's doing this year, and the like. and also the people they promoted to the LCS. And now they've got a lot of players who I think individually have showed a lot of potential, either in the semi-pro last year, when you think of players like City Witty, Mia, Rovex, and players who I think still has some solid performances at this level in Surdy and Aspect.
And I've had a chance to chat with Spawn during their scouting, because they did have the, when they were running all their tryouts, they had that public. And I don't know Argentum Sky super well, the coach for this roster, but talking with Spawn, he just has such a good head of like what he looks for out of players that he thinks can be developed and can be improved on. So that's where this team gives me excitement, because there's a lot of promise to it. Slow start, 1-5 so far, but Surdy has been playing his best. He is the player with the most experience on this roster, so oftentimes we are going to be looking to Surdy to see like, okay, how are we going to get a win? How are we going to get over that finish line? Because the rest of the team is so, like fresh to the semi-pro level. I'm trying to think of like a better way to describe it, but really that's what was coming to mind. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be a fun matchup to watch here in the top lane because of the fact that we did look at Moose Hater and what he was able to do to help Wildcard get the wins that they've had so far. So just those two facing off against each other will be great. And I think whoever starts coming out ahead could really start to pave the way of which way this match is going to go. Though, we do have a tweet from Surdy to bring up as well. This was from earlier in the week. It was more so directed at FlyQuest, but I would like to think that if it's something that could be emulated and embodied into today's match, I think it could go really well.
I will say this is who he's tweeting about right now, okay? This man on your screen. Does this look like, you can't even really see his face. Does this look like the physique of Mercy?
Why do you have this loaded and ready to go?
Because I was going to try and use it earlier, but then we went right to Team Liquid's roster, so I couldn't make the joke then.
You needed to slip it in there, huh? I mean, to be fair,
I had to get it in there.
I might be agreeing with you, Kangas. That does not look like the physique that shouts Mercy to me. So I think you got a point.
I think so.
Working on getting the tweet up. If not, it might be something that we got to show on later, and that is okay. Or you can just go check it out. Oh, I think we might be able to get it real
If you
quick
follow
here.
Surdy on Twitter, you can check it out there. But I think, yeah, we have it.
But you should.
Let's go. So it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait, everyone. Look at this.
It just says it all.
If Surdy can go and start some violence today, we got a great game on our hands. I'm going to send you guys... I'm going to send you guys off to draft, see if TLF can beat the Moose Hater test, and get started with what should be a great... Oh, draft delay. Okay. Just kidding. I'm going to get sitting with you guys.
I actually have something for this. It's not going to be as good as the cat tweet, but we were hinting about the importance of provisional versus provisional matchups. Again, for anybody tuning in who's not aware of the changes, there are 6 provisional teams competing with the LCS affiliated teams, and the bottom 4 will face relegations at the end of the split. So here is my... I made this myself. Nobody in chat say production scuffed. Nobody give any crap to anybody.
It's all Kangas' fault.
Give it all to me. All right, let's take a look. Can we one-box me? So this is my catch-up for anybody wondering the current standings of the provisional teams, all right? So PvP, provisional versus provisional. Wildcard at the top. They are doing the best right now. Fear, not too far behind. I actually think I might have that reversed.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I have that reversed. All right, well, already I've made a mistake on the graphic.
You got distracted looking at Moose Hater, obviously.
I think I got distracted trying to put all the emojis on. But the important thing to note here is that the provisional teams that are not associated with LCS orgs are actually off to stronger starts early on. And a lot of the thought process behind that when you look at the roster is we kind of had expectations for rosters like Fear, like AoE to say these are the ones that are trying to not get relegated, right?
Yep.
They don't want to be in that bottom 4 conversation at all. But so far, the LCS affiliated ones have been struggling a little bit. Team Liquid have a chance to move themselves up here because FlyFam and CLG Faith are both 1-7. Team Liquid first are 1-5. So if they even pick up a win, it helps differentiate them from the pack right below them. They still got some work to do to catch up to the AoE and the wild cards. It should be not Fear. Yeah. But, it starts that climb because the wins against each other feel way more impactful because they could settle tiebreakers later on.
I think one caveat...
That's my presentation.
I think one thing I want to like clarify, and I think should be known, is that yeah, the affiliated orgs are struggling at the moment at the bottom, but a lot of those, actually all of those rosters are newly formed in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Very few pre-existing like pairings or anything like that. The only exception being the solo laners from Bay State going over to CLG Faith and Serenok and Vijani. Besides that, you look at the other teams, the teams we highlighted at the top, Wildcard and Fear. Fear is a roster, even before announcement, they were playing together. This was all planned, locked down months in advance. I swear they've been playing and scrimming together since like November or something like last year. They've known, they have a lot of experience playing together on other teams, their friends, everything like that. Wildcard, 3/5 of a roster that we've been highlighting a lot from last year, AoE Ginger Turmeric. So I think there's a lot of coordination that carries over in these situations, which is what's allowing them to have this initial burst. And I think what Lopali tweeted earlier that we looked at when we were looking at the tweets was really important. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yes.
Wanted to bring that up.
And also to add on to that, unless, Sierra, are we ready to go, or are we still
We're
talking?
not. I was just going to say,
Sweet.
I appreciate the fact that you had a presentation on hand for a game delay. Like,
How does he do it?
Hey,
I can
you
pull
can't
up
get
Moose Hater
sensitive.
again if we just want to look at Moose Hater. So also when you look at Team Liquid Faith's roster, Team Liquid First, TL First, I was chatting with Joshi, and the way that he described it was, it kind of feels like a team that's not used to fives. You watch their play,
Yeah.
they're good individually, but it's the team play where they start to struggle, and that plays immediately into what you were saying, Beatdown, is that, yeah, some of these teams have had rosters together longer, they have that team synergy.
well, it has been fun. I appreciate the presentation like immensely, but I'm getting word that we might have draft for realsy this time,
Ooh.
and I'm excited to see just how the rankings is going to be faring after that. I want you to be doing all the standings.
He also
from
has
now
to
on. The
fix
graphic
it.
was amazing.
Yeah, I have to fix it, though.
Plus you
I
gotta
have
fix it.
teams out of order.
We'll proofread it next time, but I'm going to send you guys off the draft for real this time, and I'll see you later.
Thank you, Sierra. Beatdown. We get a
Genghis.
cash together, baby. Let's go.
For the first time in the 3 years since I started paying attention to competitive League of Legends, you've like dodged me, but now I have you. You're stuck with me.
What can I say? I don't like casting with people that could kick my ass. So this is new for me. I have to warm up to this. Wildcard versus Team Liquid First. The big things we're talking about, we kind of hinted at there. Wildcard have this synergy built. They have a core that came from AoE in the past, and they stuck together. And honestly, the way that they approach draft is also such a cool aspect of this team, because not only do they have synergy on the Rift, but they have similar champ pools. Like Keel and Moose Hater can flex things like the Zac. Like it makes it so hard for TL First.
Definitely, and I think I do want to add as well that Saligo and Lens have fit in very well. I mean, Saligo's a player we've seen at various levels of play. I'm pretty sure he was even in the LCS at one point, and also performed well in Academy previously, in my opinion, and I think he's fit for this roster really, really well. Lens coming over last year from the TCL, performing really well on 100 Next, now performing just as well, in my opinion, on this roster. He's actually a player I'm really excited about.
All right, well, we don't get any of those cool flex picks I was talking about. It's Maokai. It was left up, not banned. But okay, never mind. We get something fun.
Okay.
There's a Zyra locked in.
That's kind of crazy. And I'm pretty sure this Zyra was like no, it was MF support. I'm mixing it backwards. The point is, this is nice because, one, you got a lot of zone control with that Stranglethorns when we're talking about post 6. You got a lot of range damage, a lot of poke. I'm looking at it right now. If I'm Mia and Rovex, I'm pissed already. Like, this thing looks so annoying to have to play against.
But the question is it the Ashe support or the Jhin support? Who's
Ashe.
playing this one between Mia and Rovex? I think it also could come down to champ pool. I'm not sure Mia's full champ pool and what she's comfortable on, but because we've seen both of these, and I think I've even seen them swapped around, like the Ashe has AD carry Jhin support in the same lanes or the reverse. So maybe they can just decide based on who's more comfortable on the champs.
Maybe. I just think like Ashe does better with less economy compared to Jhin. I think Jin's a champion who offers a lot of utility, but I think he needs gold at the end of the day. I don't recall if we've seen Jhin support here in this tournament, but it sounds more like a solo queue pick to me.
You know what? I want to see the Masu build. Mia, if you were watching Masu's
Dude,
games,
that
the Ravenous Hydrogen.
Ravenous Hydrogen slaps. I don't even want to hear it. Like it's so fun to play.
Yeah, getting kills with the splash damage off of the ult. But it's gonna be range versus range. This is pretty standard in the meta right now for the bot lane. It's like, as much as I love them, the engaged tank supports just aren't necessary when you have these junglers like we're seeing right now. The Maokais, the Sejuanis, they will be the primary engage, and it's all about who can poke out the bot lane, shove that wave in, and then, create priority in a lane.
Right, and I mean, it's about how the jungler is going to be able to use that as well. Like you said, both Keel and City Witty have these champs that are going to be able to make a lot of early game plays, and that's just been the meta for jungles at the moment here. So you got to imagine bot lane will be a point of focus, especially with how these double range matchups can be very volatile. You can stack dragons, you can go for invades, steal camps away. These open up a lot of opportunities, especially if you are there to influence them. We've definitely seen a lot of ways where that works, and we've seen times where it doesn't work because you don't ward correctly, and the enemy jungler just gets the easiest gank of all time. However, I have a little more faith in TL first than that. And Aspect, my man, locks in the Akali. You love to see it.
Okay.
Broken champs.
Blind pick Akali to
Yeah.
start things off. The top lane was pinched slightly with things like Jax, Fiora, Renekton taken off the table, and more poke for Wildcard. They go for the Jace lock-in. And Udyr.
Oh, it's... Whoa. Is this Zyra mid? What's going on? Wait.
I think it's either going to be Udyr or Maokai top lane. That's my guess here. Within the Jace going
Maybe
into
it's
the mid lane versus
you never
Akali.
know. You never know
Or-
with Moose Hater. It could be Maokai top. You're right.
No
I think
way
it is
it's like
Maokai top.
Udyr mid. I'm just trying to think of what can counter the Akali.
Udyr is the Keel special. So I'm certain that's going to him. But the thing is, there's also a Jace, you know? I'm just waiting for this to flip up. I'm looking at Teal first
I really like
composition.
the Olaf.
I'm looking at Teal first composition real quick. Olaf is nice for Surdy, a champ. He's definitely played before. Akali,
What is an
good
Udyr
champ in
supposed
my
to do
opinion. Oh,
against
it's
this?
Jace mid.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. You're going to put the Udyr into the top lane. Moose Hater plays weird stuff, people. At this point, this is the expectation, no longer the surprise factor. But I love that Surdy has this in his pocket because I'm not a top laner. I don't know exactly how the matchup works, but theoretically, I imagine the Olaf should be pretty favored in this.
You know what's funny? Because we talk about AoE Ginger Turmeric, the roster that Moose Hater, Keel, and Duo King were a part of last year. Their coach was actually Argentum, who coaches TL first now. And we had this whole joke coming in, where it's like, oh, because Argentum had a lot of interesting drafts. Obviously, good coach, smart guy, and everything like that. But sometimes a lot of us would just be like, oh, that's an Akash draft, when it's something we can't fully understand. So it feels like Wildcard are trying to out Argentum right now, because I've seen a lot of things that I have not seen at all this year in Jace mid, Zyra support, and Udyr top.
I'm quickly checking the stats. Udyr top has not been played much, surprisingly, right?
This tournament, not at all.
But he does not have Olaf listed as his worst matchup, so maybe it's not as bad as I was initially thinking, but it could come down to play style. Let us know what you think is going to happen here. In chat, spam WC or TLF for who you think is taking game number 1. A very unique draft. Team Liquid first, trying their absolute hardest here to get something together that works for comfort, that works for comp, and will get them another win on the board.
All right, so doing my best to look at what this wildcard comp is. I mean, this mid matchup should be very good for Soligo, just because, Jace being that lane bully, Akali being weak very early, is going to open up a lot of opportunities for what if Soligo wants to get out of lane, get these big CS leads, and be able to move around with Keel across the map here. Keel is playing the standard Maokai, one of the best junglers on the patch, if not the best one. So he's going to be looking to make a lot of early plays as well. And I have a feeling the Aspect isn't going to be able to do much in these early minutes. Maybe when you get post 6, there are more opportunities for you here, but I think it's going to be difficult because you look on TLF side, you're waiting for Akali to kind of scale up a little bit. You have Olaf, who should be pretty good in lane, even though we haven't seen this matchup. And then you have this bot lane that's going to be fighting really hard for push, and okay, he's fine.
Well, Surdy takes a rough trade to start things off, so you know what? Already I'm not feeling as confident about
you know what? Yeah.
matchup prediction I had.
To be fair, when we talk about matchup predictions, we definitely assume they're both at full health at the start.
And also, it helps when you have Joshi on the broadcast with you, the resident top laner,
True.
diamond level top laner, who can actually talk through some of this stuff for us. But you know what? We'll learn together, Beatdown.
Oh my God, you're right. And it's going to
We'll learn
be
together.
just a lovely experience overall for us, the audience, the players, maybe. And, hey, cool, my tweet got on there.
Hey, your tweet got on. Hey, that's
Okay.
Beatdown. I know that guy.
Hey, I do too. Isn't that crazy?
No way. Early level 2's hit from the bot lane of Team Liquid first. This is big. This can often just decide the entire laning phase. Getting level 2 first, getting the early shove gives you so much control, but it also sometimes can put you in danger. So I like that City Witty is tracking Keel in the jungle right now, allowing his bot lane to push in.
Right, because that priority is what's giving him that sort of comfort to just walk in, get vision down. Like, that's the big thing you're playing for here. It's just about whether or not you can have an idea on where Keel is going to be. And yeah. Sorry, am I crazy? Did we just go back in time?
Teleport? We just went back in time.
Okay,
All right, I'm going to predict something. City Witty's going to drop a ward on red buff.
Oh, exactly. And I'm going to guess that it's because of the bot prio his
way.
bot lane's gotten for them. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
How do we
You love
do it,
Wait a
Kangas?
minute, Surdy. Wow, he's just walking
There's a
past
shield,
the
yeah.
minion line. Yeah,
Pull off is so cool, eh, guys?
Well,
That was a
neat.
health disadvantage, by the way. But the thing I think worth talking about is I like the ward from City Witty. Full clears the bot side, immediately goes just to make sure that his bot lane has an idea where this Maokai is going to be, especially because, I mean, they've gotten this early push going through here. So they want to make sure. No surprises, like we were talking about. They want to hold on to this advantage here, but I'm interested to see how Duo King is going to pilot this Zyra. We've seen a lot of less common picks from him. It started with the Blitzcrank, and it's looking like he's got a lot more pocket picks. Oh,
Look at
yeah.
City. City's passing ganks, or rather
Flash.
passing camps, so that he can go for a gank here on a Moose Hater. Yeah, no Flash, he has the Ghost,
Turtle
but
stance.
Udyr's hard to kill early. Successful dive, and first blood picked up for Team Liquid first jungler.
Oh,
Ooh,
we
but
got
now
more.
an answer bot lane. Keel's looking for the cross map play. Mia runs away from the turret, and Keel catches the Jhin. Rovex now in a 1v3. A lot of trouble here. Who gets the kill? It looks like Lens is
Perfect.
donated that one. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. How did that even happen?
I'm not really sure. I thought he was out of turret range. But I mean, ultimately, 2 kills, you get the wave in.
What?
This is still much more harmful for Mia and Rovex because there's a good amount of gold XP they're going to lose. We see this replay on the top side. It's after, of course, Moose Hater understands. He drops that ward and says, all right, I'm under a lot of stress here. And you see him trying to clear this wave as much as he can. And he almost makes City Witty fall for this play to work. But City Witty just has to invest the flash. And I mean, this tragedy, I don't know if I can say it again.
It was like it's like you said, Duo King lines it up with the Strangle Thorns. Keel uses Flash to get the initial kill. Okay, let's watch this. How does Lens get turret
good question,
aggroed?
good question. Okay, so Duo King is
Okay, we're going
tanking,
slow. This
makes
is good.
perfect sense. All right. And then turret shot. Oh, the
What?
immediate. Okay, no,
But
that's really fast.
Rovex was
though.
already dead by the time that I guess because the turret auto went out and Lens was still under turret range.
Yeah, so it immediately targeted him.
That's so tragic.
Yeah, I mean,
Had
again,
Flash, had heal, could have survived.
yeah, I still think ultimately, like, Lens and Duo King come out on top of that one here, and it's good because I mean, Ezreal, a champion you want to be scaling a little bit more. You usually don't have a lot of pressure, and it's useful because Duo King is going to be able to roam, leave lane, which we know it is a lot, and it means that Lens will be in an okay position to farm under turret. That's just the Ezreal game.
And now we get back to live here, catching up on how City Witty will try and catch back up. Because keep in mind that City Witty passed over camps to go for the top lane dive. Keel did not. Keel got the full clear and then went for the dive bot turret. So is up in clear in XP just slightly, but it exists. And now with their shove, they might go for an early dragon here. They have a window.
They definitely do. Mia just coming back, has to clear the wave, and you have your bottom lane coming through. Like, it's just an easy pickup, playing for the Dragon Soul. Something I think Wildcard are going to be really happy to do because we talked about the zone control, a lot of the CC they have here. I mean, especially I look at the Maokai and the Zyra, because if you start stacking dragons, Wildcard's going to have, or TLF, excuse me, they're going to have to do something about that. And having to walk into fog or even vision against this comp in a zone they control,
Yeah.
that sounds painful.
Yeah, Zyra's basically like Heimerdinger at home. Meanwhile, Surdy, wishing he could go home in a 1v1 against Moose Hater. With the Olaf changes, I guess maybe he's just trying to bait Moose Hater in while he's low health. He's also baiting me a little bit, like I'm being concerned for him, but he feels confident, so he's taking these trades.
Right, and I mean, speaking of
Aspect
trades,
might die.
yeah, this isn't even a trade. He has to pop the Twilight Shroud, and this is just brutal. I've never even had to play that matchup, but just immediately once we saw it go mid, I groaned inside for Aspect. And this is just what you expect. You can see the CS lead coming through here. Soligo having an easy time in this lane. And as long as Aspect keeps from falling too far behind in farm, doesn't give away his life very often, he will still be relevant into the game, especially because he is a super mobile champ, can bypass the front line, and one of the few people who are actually going to be able to jump on top of someone like Lens, Duo King, who are very likely going to be safe more or less more of the time in front of someone like Maokai and Udyr.
And we see City went for a look top lane. Crusader's pop at the tent up as he feels like he is getting somewhat camped right now. That was only 2, Crusader. I don't know if that counts. I think 3 is the minimum to pop that emote, but you know what? I'll give it to you. Either way, City not, or rather Surdy not getting Moose Hater low enough for City to go for the full dive, and I like what Moose Hater's doing here, going for a little bit more AP in the build. The trades against Surdy are actually pretty painful when he does.
They are.
I mean, Udyr's AP scaling is not the worst, or at least base damage plus early damage. So does go for things like Dark Seal occasionally, but went for the Doran's Ring this time around.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Some champs, Volley Bear is one that can do it too, even though you build more bruiser tanky on him. He's got some AP ratios, and that's just kind of how you build it in the lane. The interesting thing is...
He might just die, though. You know what? Caster curses are real. Okay! He got out. Surdy doesn't have Ragnarok anymore, but again, he's still very strong, especially with the Tiamat build. We got a scrap in the jungle, meanwhile, too.
Surdy's dead!
Underneath the turret! Gets pushed back by Keel. Well played with a Bramble Smash, and Soligo gets away from City Witty, so Wildcard benefiting on the over-aggression of Surdy.
Yeah, I mean, Surdy feeling very confident because his mid and jungle were walking up, but they ultimately lost him in the end because he got a little too close to the turret. At least because of the low health bars and what it costs to take Surdy down, they have to recall on the side of Wildcard. So, or at least I thought they would.
Could be big from Aspect. Gets on top of Moose Hater, and there we go. Easy pickup.
Yeah!
Aspect takes the kill. I was wondering if maybe they would gift that over to Mia, but yeah, either way, you feel good about it. Ooh,
yeah, here's the tough part, though. Because Surdy had died and not recalled to make the lane swap, a lot of turret plates are going down in the bottom side. And you're going to see it as soon as that second undertow lands. Surdy's like, oh yeah, I got kill threat. So he just immediately decides to go for it, pops the Ragnarok. He just missed the one undertow. I think that might have made it happen. And what we're looking for here, it's going to be another second.
Gotta be the
it's going a little close.
Smash.
You see the mini map, and the team is on the way. So he's like, oh yeah, I can fight this. I'm Olaf. Let's go. But he doesn't realize that, you know what, turrets still hurt, and he's not big enough to be worried about those yet. Again, the HP makes it easy for the Herald to go, and that's the saving grace here. But remember, you have your bot lane moved up. You want the lane swap to come through, but instead, it's just Lens and Duo King easily picking up turret plates. Your only consolation at that point is that Aspect got a kill.
In moments like that, you can go one of two ways, misplay or outplay. I'm leaning more outplay. I think he'll play that very well. Just chaining the CC for the longest possible to bring back the second Bramble Smash cooldown. But back to live now. We're back to the original lane states. So Surdy had gone bot lane. It's just so sad. He doesn't have TP because he went TP top. Has to run bot, get like one wave, then take the long trek top lane. Surdy had a decent lead, but now that Moose Hater picked up a kill, it's pretty much gone.
Yeah, and I'm interested in seeing the gold difference overall if we could, because I want to know how much gold Lens has picked up. Okay, so the turret plates have obviously done him a lot of good. It's like almost 500 gold. I mean, this is real. Any extra gold you get, any lead is very beneficial, because you look, the only real tanky member on the side of TLF is City Witty. Surdy will be a little tanky too, but those Mystic shots, they're going to hurt the rest of the map on TLF side.
Who got it? Hey, City. Nice kill. I like the look, you know, trying to take away something from the enemy jungler and also hovering topside, but we have action. Rovex is going to go down. Duo King with these deadly Strangle Thorns just punishing the squishy members in the bottom lane. Now, first top laner Surdy has to be careful here. Has Aspect behind, but Not close enough, so that has to retreat.
And you can see it. Team Liquid first, they're looking for a play. And because they want to try and get a successful dive off, pop the Rift Herald, and get some gold back into their pockets. Because you can see overall, they're down 3,000 gold now. And at 11 minutes, that is a pretty hefty deficit to be in here. And that
Flash
kill...
arrow.
Oh,
Chaining the CC.
Oh, the
flash
flash.
forward
Oh,
from
wait a
Mia.
minute.
I like the look, but it's going to get
Lens?
punished. Duo King does barely not get the last bit of damage. Curtain call popped.
oh no.
Gotta hit some of these shots. Not enough to kill.
Would have been nice. But again, TLF, okay, we have the lane gank coming through. Crusader, again, took Ghost, not Flash, so there could be a potential dive.
How hard do they want to commit for this? Ragnarok's
think they
available
need to.
for Surdy. Now bot lane's in trouble again. Lens to getting so much damage onto Rovex, and Mia
Whoa!
still gets sniped. The poke is too strong from Lens and Duo King.
And there it is. One of the better 80 carries coming out of semi-pro last year, playing for 100 Thieves next. Again, a player I thought was really good and is just performing here on the day. And City Witty,
Top lane.
he's got to run.
Yeah, he's tanky. Moose Hater's got to be careful, but they have Soligo. This is going to be the punch that they need, the damage to finally take down the big pig riding lady. City in trouble. Who gets it?
Oh, they're giving it
Soligo gifted the
Soligo.
kill.
Yeah, really nice choice there. I mean, Soligo wants that gold, wants to continue farming, and is doing a good job at that so far here. Holds up that 20 CS lead, now has the kill, has finished the mythic. Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Goodbye.
Yeah, just walks into the brush.
Oh,
Kill
wait,
is still
unless-
around, but buys
Let's
enough
go,
time.
Aspect.
Ashero goes wide, but Aspect has enough damage to provide a kill assist. Heal now in full retreat mode. Rovex with the slow. Another picked up, but Soligo evens it out, as Surdy did not expect the Jace.
No, and that's just another kill for this Jace here. For Soligo. And this is just going to be so hard. The range damage, the poke from this roster is going to be so insane.
Soligo's
And getting
playing
another
this
kill.
so
Yeah,
well.
it gets over.
Playing
Getting
this
another
so
kill
well.
too. He's 3-0. He's going to be a big problem. This gold lead for Wildcard just continues to grow.
There's two massive aspects of Jace as we look at the replay here. One is being in the right place, and the other is being at the right section of the map at the right time, and the other is being in the right physical location on the map. Coming in from Fog of War on Jace means that you can do so much more damage, and Soligo's playing it incredibly well. But here it starts with the Herald, then they look for a dive. Moose Hater goes pretty far forward, but it's Soligo. He's just rotating at the right time.
Right, and he has that move. It's because he's been able to get all these advantages over Aspect, and of course he's here just in time. Can't get 30, but just in time for the team to gift him the kill onto City Witty. And this is just the beginning of where those kills start to pop up. And I think, yep, we're going to keep this replay going too. Immediately punish Surdy. Like, oh, sorry, you can't actually come to this wave. At least they managed to pick up another kill with Aspect going through here.
Then another
But-
TP from Soligo. I mean, again, the Jace from Fog of War is one of the scariest champions in the game. It's like Rengar, Kha'Zix, Jace. I mean, there's probably a couple others in
I'm
there,
gonna say,
but
like,
he's gonna be up
Rengar and
there.
Kha'Zix are like S tier. I'll say Jace is B tier for the moment. But
Okay,
I get what
but
you're
to play
I get where you're
Jace
coming from.
correctly, and that's what's impressing me the most,
Oh,
because
yeah, of
Soligo is a
course.
player that has played at the LCS level, at the Academy level for a while now, and now coming in for one of the provisional teams, a lot of us were confused why Soligo wasn't picked up by a Challengers team. Still, higher ceiling than we think we've seen so far capable from this player, and now pulling out things like the Jace mid lane, showing us why there's a decent amount of hype around him.
Yeah, he's definitely fit into this roster really well. I mean, when they were AoE Ginger Turmeric, they had Captain Shrimps, who would perform very well, of course, a big part of the run they made. And now Soligo, it's a business as usual. It's like there was never even an adjustment period. He just fits like a glove for this roster here, and it's really exciting to see if he continues that performance, and who knows, finds his way back into potentially a Challengers team.
I'm going to ask you a color question that hopefully you have the correct information for. I don't remember offhand. Does Demonic Embrace stack? Like if there's two Demonic Embraces?
It should, because they changed it for, what's it called? They changed it for Leandre's, so I imagine they changed it for both.
I was going to question why there were two, but if they stack, it makes a little bit more sense. There is going to be a decent amount of HP stacked, specifically on City. Ooh,
Soligo.
swing and a miss from City Witty. Speaking of, Soligo, can he survive under the turret? No, there's enough damage. And that's a shutdown. Gold going over to Surdy. Can they get away? Moose Hater teleports in. Keel and Duo King. They do not see Duo King. They haven't pinged him out yet. This will be blind.
Oh,
Stranglethorn
yeah.
misses. Teleport coming in. Who's trapping who right now? If Surdy City can survive, they have a lot of backup coming in, but they could be baiting their own team in.
Oh,
Rovex in
no.
trouble now because Lens is there. Flashes away, and Rovex in the Twilight Shroud, trying to position onto the carries. This is good for Wildcard, though. They picked up the members they were looking for, and they get out. They might even get
Look
more.
at
Mia
Lens.
and Rovex in a lot of trouble. Getting underneath the turret. Moose Hater barely survives. Mia, Rovex the same. Oh, Curtain? Nah, they're not going to do anything here.
Exactly. Well, you can just see it. Wildcard still firmly in control of this game, Kangas, where
Yeah.
they have been just winning at almost every turn. And the things that have been going well for Team Liquid first, I think, are really just moments where they're able to rotate up, catch stragglers, and pick up a kill or two. But you can see it isn't quite the same thing. They're up 4 kills on the side of Wildcard, and even more importantly, they're up 4,000 gold, and it's just keep climbing.
Maokai is a fair and balanced champion, everybody. Although, to be fair, many junglers probably could have pulled that one off. Keel won't get out. You will get punished for going for the dive. So at least that's some justice in the world. But it does mean that multiple members of Team Liquid First have to go towards the top side. They got to catch his bot wave at some point. Mid's pushing in. Wildcard still a lot of control on the map.
And it just continues to grow here. Very few turrets. In fact, just one taken down in favor of Team Liquid First, meaning it's very hard for them to push up vision reasonably far into Wildcard side of the map. It's actually very dangerous for them here. Speaking of dangerous,
So he's chasing down Saligo.
Saligo's under no danger, I guess.
Yeah, he should be fine. And Surdy gets out. You know, sometimes you got to look for stuff like that. We've seen this from Surdy a couple times already, even this game, but especially over the last couple of weekends. A reminder that Team Liquid First, this is a very fresh roster. A lot of them coming in with minimal, fives experience, or rather fives at this level of semi-pro play. Surdy will have the most experience, and also was notable a carry player in his past 10 years on Evil Geniuses in Academy. So Surdy's definitely trying to get the best he can on the map.
Right, and I believe last year, I'm remembering last summer, I think Surdy honestly improved a lot throughout Summer Split there when it was Academy. So I think that's something we could see happen again. Like, it isn't just Surdy. This team as a whole, I think, have little to no experience playing together. And it kind of fits with what Josh told you. It's a team not experienced in fives. Of course, they've played fives. It's just that when you look at the core of this team, there isn't too much experience, especially at this level. And they also have to figure out how to be playing together.
There's a difference between collegiate fives and, Proving Grounds qualifiers fives, and then now this level of play that we're at.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to Wildcard's credit, they are another provisional team that's coming in with a lot of players with similar stories. Moose Hater, Lens, Duo King.
Right.
But sometimes you just come out the gates roaring, sometimes you fizzle at the start. First are not out of it yet. They're 5,000 gold behind, but they can mount a comeback. It's only the third dragon. They don't need to throw the game for this in particular, but they're positioning for it. Rovex has ult. I'm watching for the Ash Arrow. If that can hit a key target, Aspect has a flank. Goes onto the front line. Aspect is in. Gets onto Lens and Duo King. A lot of damage coming in from Aspect, and the dragon is stolen.
That's
This is a good start for First. They even trade mid laner for jungler. Surdy, can you get out now? City's out. Surdy running away. Bigger health bars on Wildcard. They might look to ace here. They get Surdy, and they are chasing First into their side of the map. They will surely pick up Mia here. Soligo has the long flank. City's taking the Krugs on the way out. Like, all right, I'll try to get something else here. Okay, Duo King stuck around. I didn't even notice that, so this is a hard punish. Wildcard lose the dragon, but they clean up multiple members of Team Liquid First.
Right, at least the deaths were staggered, so it means that the opportunity for a Baron isn't really there for Wildcard, but I think that play was worth the risk. Because Kangas, we're already seeing examples of how difficult it is for Team Liquid First to walk into Wildcard's composition, so forcing a soul point this early in the game means that TLF won't be in a good position to fight for that soul. So going for the 50-50, I think, was the best chance to buy time. And they got a kill in the process, even though they got a few deaths in return. So I think overall, monetarily, not exactly worth, but it's a big deal that they deny the soul point because they give themselves time to catch back up into this game.
Arguable whether their comp scales better than Wildcard into the late game, but it still feels good when you give yourself another play in the future. I think we can highlight, though, how hard that team fight is, as the escape goes dire here. But fighting these like grouped up team fights into the likes of the Maokai samplings, Duo King piloting the Zyra, all the plants hitting you, even Soligo and Lens, if they don't die immediately, they can kite away and then just throw damage into the comp. Like, Team Liquid Faith just took so much damage so quickly, even when Aspect was able to get on the carries.
Well, at least Aspect will still have those opportunities going forward. I think 2-2-1 in a decent spot. I think when this Akali gets to 2 items, there's a good chance, if unencumbered, you can get on top of someone like Duo King, like Lens, and that's a big thing you're going to be relying on. Because, yeah, true, when we talk about, like, scaling, damage, things like that, it is going to be really difficult, I think, for Team Liquid First to fight into these later stages of the game. The big thing you're hoping for are picks at this point. You have Rovex on the Ashe, playing for that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You have City Witty with the Glacial Prison. These are the big things you're looking to make plays probably in the side lane before any major objective comes up. Get yourselves that number advantage, and if that could happen before this next Dragon fight, I think all the better.
I'm looking at the big pick tools for Team Liquid First. They have Sejuani ult, they have Ashe ult. Big tools that can catch somebody out of position. The squishier members. Duo King doesn't have cleanse, Lens doesn't have heal. I mean, it's harder to get on the Ezreal, but that's what I want them to look for. The last fight, Ashe Arrow was used onto Keel, onto the front line. I want to see that. Try to bend the arrow. It's tough. I know.
This is a Wild Rift Kangas.
I know. But if you can get it onto these squishier members, that is big. Although we do have a believer for Team Liquid.
I mean, it's
the team
Team
itself
Liquid.
tweeting out. Yeah, hey, you know what? It's something.
Yeah, it's true. If you don't got you, who's got you, Kangas? Let's be real.
I like that. That's a good analogy right here. We're fighting over red buff. Oh, City's taking so much damage. Look at the range. Big
Lens.
pick on the Lens. Okay, that's Flash out of the Ezreal. Still has the heal available. They're jumping right onto him, but they're throwing everything through the rest of the damage for Wildcard. And Wildcard say, yeah, we'll take it. We don't need the Ezreal to do everything. Moose Hater with a double kill. A 4 for 0. Team Liquid First just hard tunneled onto the Ezreal and ran right into everybody.
And it was a good catch-up from Wildcard to be able to come out on top in that fight. All you get is Lens's cleanse, and a much cleaner fight win means that you get the Baron as well. And look at this, Moose Hater's already going to knock on the base doors, take down the mid-tier 3 turret, and at this point, the map is just in shambles from Team Liquid First. It's going to be so much more difficult for them to really do much of anything but farm. And we'll see the replay here and what they were going for. Like we were highlighting, City Witty, Rovex, they have the big pick tools from range, and Lens is who you so badly want to take down. So they think, you know what? Our mid laners TPing in, we're here good to go. Let's just full commit to this one. They actually commit both teleports to try and take down this Ezreal, and it just doesn't work. He's too slippery.
I think Moose Hater just had a really good flank right there. Actually, watching it back again, he kind of snuck in around the top side of the red buff, and Team Liquid First were not prepared for that. Speaking of, he's just running straight at the carries. Moose Hater, you know, you have a team. You don't have to do it all yourself. You could, you know, let everyone else catch up as they have now, but he's still on the flank. Moose Hater is still hanging out around the top half here, just corralling Team Liquid First into the rest of Wildcard. The Ashe Arrow lands, but the damage is already done. Surdy and Aspect trade one back, but a triple kill to Soligo. And again, a 4-kill trade, making a full ace for Wildcard. Quadra kill to Soligo. And Wildcard will take game number 1.
And what a convincing game. Wildcard still proving, I think you may have seen the future with that graphic, Kangas, because Wildcard's looking for another 2-0 victory here, and it all starts with TLF's Nexus exploding in game 1. Domination coming through.
Wildcard showing why they're fighting with a vengeance right now. The power rankings were clearly not correct going into the year, and they are trying to prove all the haters wrong. Well earned from them. But we will be setting into a short break while we get ready for our halftime show to bring Sierra back on. We'll be back after this.